So welcome back, everybody, to this month's version of the Lawyers Happy Hour. We are so excited to welcome Sharon Sobel as our guest presenter this month. This has been a widely attended, as you can see from the audience, or maybe you can't see from the audience, not really sure how it's going to look on the finished product, but we have a great group tonight and we have a great presenter. So Sharon Sobel of Picture This Video. Picture This Video has been around for over 20 years and specializes in all size businesses across video solutions locally and across the globe. With hands-on experience in all aspects of production across different styles, genres, video projects, she's able to understand the logistics and details needed. And they pride themselves at Picture This in transparency in the process, pricing through strong communication and modern methods of collaboration with the clients. Sharon differentiates her business from others in that she doesn't just have the skills to create the videos that you need, but she can also make sure that they are distributed in a way that they actually get seen. Take it away, Sharon. You actually are the host, so you have the floor. You can control the whole rest of the show.
All righty. Okay, so I am going to share my PowerPoint here. And I changed the title on you, Dea, as you see, for your people. Video, it's for more than depositions. How do you like that? So I just wanted to, sometimes folks get caught up in their heads about using video. And I just wanted to talk today a little bit about how to use video more on the business side of things. So for marketing, whether it's through YouTube or social media, it's called digital marketing. It's video that is online. So this is a survey that was taken about why folks use video as business owners. And I circled this section here in the middle because I thought it was most pertinent to this population. Educating customers, building brand authority, and building more personal relations with clients. So, I see the legal field as ripe for the pickings when it comes to questions. There is so much that folks don't know about the law where they live. And a lot of times they don't learn about it until they find themselves in trouble, right? Or putting someone else in trouble. So this is a way for you to establish yourself as an expert in your field. So what kinds of videos are best for the legal field? So I've got two examples here. There's plenty more, but I think these are probably your strongest. One are client testimonials for your website as promoted through social media. And this is a bit of a strategy here. So if you see under use, it's using social media to tease the beginning of a testimonial and drive viewers to a page on your website to hear the rest. So this is actually two videos. There's one on social media and then there's one on your website. So it gets folks to go to the website. And the other kind of video, this is the one I think is most useful, is driving traffic to educational content. So if you don't have an FAQ page, maybe you can make FAQ videos, right? And you can make a YouTube channel, just FAQs as a playlist. And we'll get a little further on in this discussion about how to set up playlists, what that's all about. So just hold tight about that. But this is really great for folks who are like you, giving clients materials to take home, right? All about divorce or whatever the case is that you specialize in. So there's several places that you can put your content in the digital world. There's YouTube, which you all know about, I'm sure, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And then of course, there's your website. And all of these are different in the audience that they serve, as well as some of the rules that go along with it as far as time limits, et cetera. So I'll touch a little bit on that in the next few slides, but I wanted to just give you an overview of all of the places that you can put your videos. But I want you to think, first of all, not about making one video and putting that same video in all these places. A lot of people do that. It's kind of a shortcut. It's kind of lazy. And it's also a bit ineffective because, well, I'll get to that in a bit. The other thing I wanted to I forgot to say this at the beginning, Dea. There's a ton of information I'm going to give you all today. Do not sit down and try and write down notes because you're going to miss something else. Just take it all in, listen. And Dea's going to have this recording. She'll also have this presentation that she can share with you. So don't get stressed out about taking notes. All right, so let's start with Facebook. So I've got a little picture on the left-hand side of this slide that shows a format, really. So this is a company that consults for restaurants, right? And so this is their Facebook format. Facebook is traditionally more of a square format. So they've used this real estate to their advantage. They've taken their 16:9 video that maybe they had shot for YouTube, and they've put it in a Facebook format. At the top of the square here, you'll see this, what's called a headline. It's asking a question that would intrigue someone to watch, maybe turn up the volume, maybe not. It stays on through the whole video playing. And then the bottom text is maybe captions for the narration or some sort of value added words that complement the visuals. For a business, it might be their website or phone number or something else at the bottom. And then I wanted to add this other little piece. This is way more than I'm going to get into with you all, but Facebook has this piece of code called the Facebook Pixel. And if you take this Facebook Pixel and add it to every page of your website, what it does is kind of flags Facebook that this person is interested in you. And if it matches up with the demographics that you've set on your Facebook ads, Facebook will push that ad into that person's feed when they're on Facebook. So let me give you a good example. So you've got a woman who had a fight with her husband for the 1000th time, and she's like, I got to leave this guy. I need to find a divorce lawyer. So she's up late at night. She's perusing your website, and you've got this Facebook Pixel on your website. You also have Facebook ads. A few days later, she's on Facebook, and what happens in her feed? Oh, there's an ad for divorce lawyers from your company that shows up in her feed. So that is one way that a video ad can be working with your marketing that you already have in place on your website. Like I said, I'm not going any further down there than that, but it's something to keep in mind. Lots of folks have questions about Instagram. Instagram and Twitter are both more used by your phone, or rather your videos are uploaded through your phone, I should say. So it's stuff that you're going to record kind of on the fly in your situation. And I just left on here the difference between stories, reels, regular Instagram, and then IGTV. So there's 4 different flavors of Instagram. It's confusing. That's why I've put it on this slide so you can keep track of it later. But I'm not going to spend too much time on Instagram. They're definitely leaning towards accommodating videos more than they had in the past, where it was more photos and still images. And then you have Twitter. I'm hearing an echo. Okay, Twitter can be up to 2 minutes and 20 seconds in length. And you can record, edit, and share videos straight from the Twitter app. You can also import videos from your iPhone or iPad or upload from your computer. So what this means is, why are these time lengths important? Because if you are going to place a video on a social media site, it's going to work a whole lot better for you if you natively upload that video. And you see in bold the point that I'm making right now. So don't just post a link to your video on YouTube. If your video fits in that timeline, if your video happens to be 2 minutes long, you can upload it to Twitter natively. So just like you would upload a photo of your cat, you know how to do that. It's the same way. You can upload a photo or a video from wherever you're keeping it. It doesn't have to be your phone. Okay. If you're exceeding the time limit, then you're going to have to put a link because it'll truncate it otherwise. All right, now let's move on to YouTube real quick. What is the big deal about YouTube? So there's a few things why YouTube is so big. It is a social media platform. It encourages engagement. That's what makes it social. And it's a search engine because it's owned by Google. So if you've done any Googling in the last few years, you will have noticed that the top results that are coming up are videos from YouTube. So that's why that's happening. YouTube videos that you are embedding in your website will boost your website's SEO, and you can serve your existing audience while attracting new audience members. So to get started with YouTube, you don't need too much. You do need a Google account associated with that YouTube channel. You need a spreadsheet to keep track of all the great content ideas that I know are burning in your head. And you need a calendar so that you can plot your video production schedule. And I'm going to go over that in just a little bit, what that's all about. But it is a way for you to have a full a year's worth of content that you're producing regularly and delivering regularly. That is what a successful YouTube channel does. So I know that I'm packing so much in, and I have a question in here. And if I had more time, I would give you time to sit down and write down the answer to the question. But please do this when you get a chance. If you want to start a YouTube channel or up-level the YouTube channel that you have, you want to ask, who are you? What is the purpose of your channel? That is, why are you creating videos? And who is your audience? This needs to be very specific. Okay. So I don't want you all to think about YouTube as a storage box for videos. That is not the appropriate use. Okay. If you want to use YouTube successfully for your business, everything on that YouTube channel should be related to who you are and what is the purpose of that channel. Why are you creating those videos and who is your audience? So that is the very first question you need to answer very carefully. So sometimes it's thinking about your buyer persona. Who is your audience? What is your buyer persona? Who are you serving? What is the purpose of this channel? It may be a tangent from what you do for a living, right? So perhaps you are an immigration lawyer, but you're going to actually make YouTube content specifically for refugees. Okay. There's a lot of different folks that might need an immigration lawyer, but you've decided this channel is going to be specifically for refugees. So it's up to you what it's going to be. But what I'm telling you is, whatever your answer is to this question, that is what your content is going to always be the basis for. So the next thing you need to do is, after you have figured out, why am I making a YouTube channel? Who is it for? What kind of stuff am I going to do? You want to think about 3 to 5 categories of content that might appeal to that audience that you have identified. So I mentioned an immigration lawyer. So I've given you some examples here. So if I'm an immigration lawyer, here's 5 categories that I might have: refugee FAQs, all about visas, learning abroad, working abroad, romance abroad. Okay. So under each one of those categories, if I'm a lawyer, which I am not, I hopefully can think of maybe 5 to 10 topics that I can make a video on right away. Okay. And remember, these don't have to be super long. I'm not asking you to make 30-minute presentations, 5 of those. No, they can be quick. And I would encourage them to be quick. They don't need to be a minute, but 5 to 10 minutes is a good length for YouTube. You got to make it more than 3 minutes, though. I'll tell you that. Make it more than 3 minutes. And I'll get to how you can do that strategically in just a bit. All right, next you're going to be brainstorming. So this is when you're going to work this spreadsheet that I mentioned that you needed. So you think about the answers from the previous slide, that's your playlist, and you start writing down video titles that fit into those playlist categories. And you don't have to like overthink it. There will be time for that later, but just to get them out of your head onto the paper. And I suggest putting this spreadsheet in something like Google Drive so that you can access it across your devices. So if you are in Miami like Dea and you don't have your computer with you for some crazy reason, but you're on the beach and you have a wonderful idea, you can pull up Google Drive on your phone. Oh, I just had this great idea for a video and put it in there. All right, so here's an example of the spreadsheet that I'm talking about. So in red, these are playlist titles that this person came up with. Okay, so they are like a Medicare broker kind of person. And they've got these miscellaneous titles that can definitely be a playlist on your spreadsheet, but you're not going to make a playlist on YouTube because that would be unprofessional and weird. You're going to have a playlist maybe called Turning 65 and Medicare Facts, Medicare Advantage versus Supplement, and a few others. And so, you know, I like Medicare and dental. That I don't know how much you can say about that, but maybe, you know, there's different ways to go with this. And in your own industry, certainly there is plenty you can talk about, right? So it's about putting the questions in buckets and then identifying the titles underneath. And before I leave this slide, I wanted to point out just a couple interesting things on here. One of them is you'll see here, there's some comparisons as titles. Those make excellent YouTube titles, by the way. So network versus no network. Plan F or G, which is better? People love to hear information about comparing one thing to the other. That's why they're on the internet searching a lot of times, right? What's the best dishwasher? Samsung versus Bosch, right? So doing comparisons about things that they might be thinking about is a great way to start for a title. And it's really appealing for folks to click on, which is what you want them to do ultimately. So your YouTube plan is about to begin. You're going to need to set up your channel if you don't have one. If you do have a channel, make sure it's optimized and is looking as good and professional as you can do it. You want to have a name for your YouTube channel. It doesn't have to be Ryan Wilson. It could be Regulations with Ryan. Okay. It could be anything that helps folks know what that channel is about. And that's what I would encourage you to do, is just come up with something that's a bit more, if it's your company name, like my company name is Picture This Video, you know that I am about video just from my company name. But if I put Sharon Sobel, well, I don't know if you're aware, but there's a Rabbi Sharon Sobel. There's a costume designer, Sharon Sobel. I ain't going to put Sharon Sobel as a name like that because I don't want folks asking me advice for their religious practice, and I don't want them to be expecting information about how to sew an 18th century dress. Okay, so make sure that your YouTube channel name identifies what kind of information is going to be found in your YouTube videos and who you're going to serve. And if it's not super clear by the name of your business, you can also use that real estate on the YouTube banner to put just a little tagline. Legal advice for those on the run, whatever the case may be. And speaking of these graphics and your YouTube channel art, you can use canva.com. And basically, if you're not familiar with canva.com, please get familiar with it. It's fabulous for any kind of graphic production for your business. And you can upload your logo. There's a ton you can do for free in canva.com. So definitely check it out. And you can just use these templates. You can write YouTube banner art and it'll give you samples that you can totally customize, change out the colors to your company's colors, change the font, all of that. You have a ton of flexibility. So I'm a big fan of Canva, I gotta say. And then if you wanted to make graphics for your video, so let's say you've got a kind of big list of information that you're sharing in your video, it is always best to reinforce what you're saying orally with visuals. That's why we do PowerPoint presentations, right? You're listening to me, but you're seeing what I have to say as well on the screen, depending on what kind of listener you are. So, or what kind of learner you are. So if you're not into Canva for those graphics, you can always use PowerPoint and just export a slide as a JPEG. And that is easy peasy, full screen graphics. And lastly, this might be the most important part. Think about your schedule. Can you devote 3 to 4 hours each week on a specific day every week to work on your YouTube content? So for myself, I prefer, in my ideal world, on Fridays, it's work on my business day. That's how I spend my Fridays. I'm not going to networking events. I'm not taking client meetings. The only things I will do on Friday out of my control are if I get booked on a shoot and it has to be on Friday, I'm going to go because I'm going to make the money. But without a shoot on my schedule, I am spending that day working on my business. So it would make sense for me to develop my YouTube content on Friday because that's business development work. And that's what I do on Fridays. If I can't get it done on Friday, I still have Saturday and Sunday that hopefully I can pull a few hours and get that done. So think about your own schedule because you have to be able to devote the time to be able to make regular content. So this is how it works. Each week, you're going to be doing another step of the process. So let's say your time is 2 o'clock on Fridays, YouTube time. All right. Week 1, you're going to decide from your spreadsheet what video topics you want to produce that month. So which topics do you already have the content in your head? You could do that in your sleep. That's what you're going to pick 4 of those. And then you're going to use a tool called TubeBuddy. Look it up if you don't know what it is, to identify the best keywords. And you're going to add those keywords to another tab on your spreadsheet for when you publish. So you'll find what TubeBuddy does is it compares what you think is a good title with what actually is working and getting engagement and views and YouTube love. And it lets you know, well, that's okay, not quite. Oh, that's a bit too specific. Oh, you've hit the sweet spot. So that's what TubeBuddy does for you. So it stops the guessing and it's actually working with real results in YouTube world. And it's helping you get the best title. So you stick with your first title, you put it in, it's probably not great. And then just by changing a couple of the words, you're going to find the right, you're going to find the right, you're going to find the right keyword for that topic. So those keywords and topics should be based on an active search term, have substantial search volume, and be related to your industry or channel. And that's what TubeBuddy helps you do. Your second week, every second Friday of the month at 2 o'clock, what are you doing? You're writing your scripts for your YouTube videos. And this has a format to it. It's very formulaic. Just like, you know, I think James Bond movies tend to be a bit formulaic, at least how they start, right? You've got some kind of crazy action scene. Then you have beautiful graphics with things spilling and lovely song. And then the next scene might be in Q's office looking at the next gadget with James Bond. And you know that's how that James Bond movie works. You're going to do the same thing with your YouTube video, not make a James Bond movie, but you're going to make it formulaic. So the first thing is your headline. So let's say your video is about how to hire a divorce lawyer. Okay, so your headline is, hey, are you fighting a lot with your husband? I know it's rough and you're thinking about divorce and you just don't know how to get started. Well, this video is going to tell you how to find the right divorce lawyer and how to ask the right questions. Then you have a bumper. It's a little legal advice with Sharon. And it's a little animated logo thing that you can make in Canva, by the way. Then there's an intro, and that's you again. And you're saying, hey, I know that you're looking for a divorce lawyer. You've got a lot of questions. This video is going to tell you how to find that divorce lawyer. Don't forget to subscribe if you need more content like this. And if you've got any comments, I'd love it if you could just put them in the comments. So you've got a call to action there. Now you're like, Sharon, Jesus Christ, get to the answer. Well, that was strategy, folks. That was strategy. That was keeping people on my video for 2 to 3 minutes before they get the answer. Why? Because that's what YouTube counts as a valid look. And you need folks to watch your video for a couple of minutes at least. The longer someone watches your video, the higher the love from YouTube. Okay. So putting the content 3 minutes later, giving them the actual answer, that's strategy. And you need to do it with every single video. Then you deliver the content that's 5 to 10 minutes. And then you say, thanks for watching. It's very important. A lot of people wait to the end to ask people to subscribe. It's not a smart move, folks. Ask people to subscribe at the beginning. You don't flatter yourself and think they're going to stick to the end. Ask them at the beginning to subscribe. Okay. Then ask them again at the end. All right. Week 3. All right. You're going to get out the camera. You're going to shoot your videos. Whatever you've got at your place to make videos, use it. You can definitely move up from there as far as equipment, but we're all on Zoom. We're making videos at some level, no matter how low level you might feel they are, you're doing something. Okay. And that's a good start. It's better than doing nothing. You can, I can give you a kit, a suggested kit of equipment for less than $1,000. You can start with what you have. And then say, okay, you know what? Next step I'm going to get is I'm going to get a microphone, an actual microphone, and stop using the laptop microphone. Little steps, do what you can, just do something. Please just make video. And then I'm also going to suggest if you are challenged with your location, check out the webcam settings app. It is something I'm using right now. And that is why that I am framed up properly. You're not seeing a lot of other clutter that I actually have happening in this office because I zoomed it in. And your own webcam, if you're using a webcam, it likely has some sort of menu and configuration. So just look it up in your app's camera and check it out and see what options are there. And you might find that next time you're online, you look a lot better than you did today. You want to make sure your space is quiet, of course, and always test before you record. And then this is my little Brady Bunch graphic to kind of give you an idea of framing and composition. So, I can see myself over here. I see how I'm framed up. I'm pretty much like one of these Brady Bunch folks. I've got just a little bit of headroom. I've got equal space beside my head with the frame, right? And 4 fingers of headroom, please. What does that mean? That means if you take your hand and put it above your head, the top of your hand should be the top of the frame. That's decent headroom. If it's too much or too little, it's not right. So that's how you know how much headroom to have. And that's important. Plug in an external microphone. It can be your AirPods or earbuds, but please, if you can avoid using the laptop microphone, you're always going to sound better. And include moments of engagement in your script. Ask people to subscribe. Put in the comments if you like this. Check the description for more info. And then you're going to edit together your best takes. And that's usually when I have to say, get help if you need it. Video production can be a bit overwhelming, especially if it's not your main job, your main thing, which it isn't for any of you. It's a side thing. But even for Jim, I don't think Jim is 100% YouTube creator. He's making something else happen in his life too, I think. But, if you get overwhelmed by the technical stuff, just get help. Just like your website. I wouldn't touch my website. That's not my thing. I'm going to get someone else to do it. Week 4 is your launch strategy. So this is when you're scheduling your videos. You're going to create a plan to promote their launch through your social media. Create your thumbnails, the descriptions, the tags, optimize the title, and you're going to schedule one video to be published each week for the next 4 weeks and be ready to start the cycle again next week. So this 4th week, you're setting everything up. You're putting all your info into YouTube. you're making a little campaign to publicize that through social media, maybe through your newsletter, however you are working with, communicating with your network. And then you don't get 4 weeks off. No, next week you're going back to the spreadsheet and you're going to figure out the next 4 videos that you make. And so this cycle, this plan, yes, it does take 3 to 4 hours a week to do it. It will certainly get easier as you go, but it does take time and dedication, but it will make sure that you're putting out a new video every single week. So here's the summary. Videos on social media do garner much more engagement with customers than text. Your audience purpose and assets should determine what social media platform that you use. Video on social media should be a regular part of your marketing plan, not just a one-time thing. And there's no point in making a video without a plan to get it seen. Well, I did better this time, Dea. Look, I got 15 more minutes.
You did great. You did absolutely great. Thank you so much, Sharon. I love that you really spelled it out. Attorneys really like process, and you really spelled it out for us. And also the ROI. I mean, the ROI we can see after we do this for what, 4 weeks, 8 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't promise a date. This kind of stuff is referred to as inbound marketing, right? It's getting people to go along the buyer's journey with you. So that takes time. And, you know, that's the way that I work. And my hope is that as people get to know me and see the content that I'm putting out there, that they think of me if they need video work, right? But I'm not doing sales funnels. I'm not emailing people. I'm not even on the ball with a newsletter. So, you know, I'm doing what I can, but I can't make a promise like you're going to have 100 subscribers after you get 8 videos out there. It is really a lot about publicizing because there's billions of videos on YouTube. So, you know, I would be interested to hear how Jim publicizes his videos. That would be great knowledge too. But, you know, I decided to start giving folks help with the strategy because I would be coming back to folks that I had made videos for, asking, you know, do you need an update? Do you need something else done 6 months after I made a video for them? And they'd be like, well, that last video that you made, we loved it, but, you know, nobody watched it. And I realized, oh, wait, like, that's not my job. You didn't hire me to get people to watch it. You hired me to make you a video. I thought you had marketing people working with you. So I started realizing that, you know, if I didn't start having that conversation about how are you going to make sure people watch these videos with my clients from the beginning, that I was just going to keep repeating this problem and people would not get any value out of their videos. You're not going to if you don't have a plan to make sure people see them.
I love that, Sharon. That's a great value add and a recognition. It's like, yeah, I can sell you a gallon of gasoline, but if you don't have a car to put it in, you're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
Jim, would you give us a minute or two on how you get people directed to your channels?
You're asking about search engine optimization, pretty basically, and that is a huge. There are courses online on search engine optimization. I mean, it's no small question. You got to go to more. There's TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest. There's all kinds of. You got to be out there as much as you can be. For my purposes, I'm more entertainment purposes than informative purposes. So I don't know. Maybe I'm in a different field than you guys. So that'd be something different. But yeah, search engine optimization. It's really. You could go on for hours about it. It's
yeah,
nothing I've mastered myself yet completely, except put yourself out there as much as possible and The thing is, you guys are about a service people need all the time. So your real competition is
Well,
each other, isn't it? I mean, that's the big thing.
well, we don't
My
like to look
competition
at
is, you know,
yeah, we don't like to look at each other as competition. We do like
but
to look at as providing information to our potential clients so that they make an informed choice. And a lot of people choose to do nothing, and a lot of people choose to DIY when it comes to legal services. But yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I understand. Yeah, for sure. But my point is, you're something people actually need, whereas I'm just entertainment value, probably. So
What's your channel about, Jim?
my new channel is about neglected histories.
Oh,
So histories of, you know, stuff you might not have heard of, stuff, unsung histories, in other words. And I try to do it in a humorous way. My first channel was just straight comedy with a friend of mine. I have a lot of improv friends and stuff like that. And it was just one video was Pot Track, where we did a stoner Star Trek.
oh,
So
wow. Okay.
type of thing. Like I said, obviously, so I'm a slightly different field than you guys, I think.
Well, you are. I mean, YouTube can be used to make money different ways. And, you know, in this group of folks, it's going to be business wise, probably more than entertainment. That's going to be a side hustle, if anything. But it's understanding how to leverage YouTube to get people to see you as an expert in your field, for a
Yeah.
business. That's how a business can really have YouTube working for them. And I've met so many business folks that will put their marketing video on YouTube. And I get that they are seeing YouTube as a storage box, but it's not doing them any good there. They're pointing folks to this YouTube channel that has like one video on there
Yeah,
that's a
that's not going
marketing
to do much.
video,
Yeah.
rather than that's a marketing video that should go where you do your marketing, like your website.
Yeah.
And you can put it on YouTube and embed the player into your website. And that's a good use of it.
I'm curious to know one thing. Like I myself, I know when I look up something on YouTube that I want to find out, I will constantly just click right ahead. The bumper or the intro, the subscribe. I'll just click right ahead. I know it's coming. I know it's the. I don't need to
You know
see it. I
that
just need. I just
formula.
need. I need the answer. So I click right ahead of that.
Sure.
So how does that affect the logarithm? I've never really. With that,
So yeah, so
the
YouTube
ranking.
counts. Yeah, YouTube counts the amount of time that people are playing it in normal speed, not the
Right.
fast forward. So if you were to jump 2 minutes into the video and then watch the video from minute 2 to minute 8, that counts. That
Yeah.
counts because that's
Actually
6
watching the video.
minutes. It actually will, like, you can jump around, and if the video is 30 minutes long and you've ended up after you're done watching 10 2-minute chunks, well, you watch 2/3 of that video. So YouTube's like, this is good content. This is good content. This person watched 2/3 of this video and we're going to push it forward. And what is that? I should have clarified when I say push it forward. When you are on YouTube, and let's say you're looking up how to fix your garbage disposal, and you get to a video and you're watching this video about how to fix a garbage disposal. While you're looking at that video, you see a list on the right-hand side of other videos, and they are typically similar, or it might be how to unplug your sink, how to replace the faucet. So they're
Yeah.
related
They're
videos
related videos.
that YouTube has determined other folks like you have wanted to watch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
I was-
idea is to get your video in that recommended list, because 90% of the videos that people click on come from that recommended list if people don't click on them directly from their Google search.
I see.
Yeah, so that's the whole, when I say the YouTube love, that's the YouTube love, is getting yourself on that right-hand side. And so, there's folks will tell you that one of the tactics that is recommended is look up your competitors' videos. and start using their keywords and what they're doing. And very likely when your video is selected, they will be there too, and vice versa. People will be watching that bigger person's stuff, but you'll start showing up.
I see. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I know a
Great.
couple of new people came in. I just wanted to tell you that Dea is going to provide this presentation after the fact. So don't worry about what you've missed, but if you have questions, that's where we're at.
I saw a couple people jump in. We just got a minute or two. We're gonna wrap up. But I see Anna and Marcus. Would either of you like to introduce yourselves very quickly? If not, I'm assuming you came through the meetup, and so I will send a follow-up meetup message that will have a link to YouTube, to our YouTube channel, which will have Sharon's presentation from tonight on it. And I just want to thank everybody again for coming to Lawyers Happy Hour. We are a monthly meeting. We do meet the first Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock Eastern time on Zoom. And we also have a Lawyers Mastermind that meets the fourth Tuesday of the month at 9 a.m. Eastern time on Zoom. It is the same Zoom link, but please do register either on Meetup or Eventbrite or in our LinkedIn group so that I know that you're coming and we can continue to network throughout the month. So I want to thank Sharon again. I want to thank our regulars for coming. I know who you are. I want to thank our guests for coming. You know who you are. And be safe out there.
I'm going to just put my information in the chat real quick.
Yes, everybody save the chat and get connected.
All right.
Oh, and book a scheduling call with book a follow-up call with Sharon. She's got some really good information.
I give a lot of free advice like that. So if you need more info, that's a very cheap way to do it.
Very valuable, very valuable way to do it.
Yes. Thank you, Dea.
Awesome. Wonderful. I will see everybody on the flip side, as they say. And, you know, again, be safe and happy weekend.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. Bye.